Hello, everyone. Just checking if the video is working well. So, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I chose to talk about immigrant women as a tribute celebrating immigrant women for International Women's Day. I think this is a group of women who are worthy of having a light shed on their stories and journeys as they navigate the transition from one place to another, as they strive to achieve their or fulfill their dreams while supporting their families and children, managing their households, raising a family and supporting their partners. Some of them might be on their own, some of them might be part of families. So they embrace all of that switch with resilience and perseverance, and they have a lot of inspiring stories that are worth to be known. So that's why the choice of immigrant women today for this topic. So if you are a recent immigrant woman watching us today, I think you will relate to a lot of the things that you're going to hear today. If you're a long-time immigrant, probably some of what we're going to say is going to bring you flashbacks to previous experiences, things that you might have encountered. And if you're not an immigrant woman watching us today or watching the preview, you will, obviously you're interested, that's why you're here. So listening to the different perspectives, or the perspective of the immigrant woman and their stories and journey, you're going to get the vantage point of those that group of women. And please, if there are any questions, if you have thoughts or shares, share them in the comments section during the broadcast, and we're going to respond to them. So today I will not be alone. I would like to welcome my friend Nisha, or Madame Tai, as everyone knows her in Moncton here. Hi, Nisha.
Hi,
How are you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
Good, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
to have me today.
thank you. I'm glad you accepted my invite, Nisha, to be part of this discussion. Just a brief intro about Nisha. She moved to New Brunswick in 2015 with her family. She first lived in Edmundston. Then she moved to Moncton in 2017, where she started her business, Madame Tai. It's a business specialized in natural skin products. I met Nisha for the first time in 2018 during a speed mentoring activity. It was organized by Access Entrepreneurship Connections Program, and it was hosted by 3Plus. So today, Nisha, I think we're both as immigrant women. I've been here for 10 years. You've been here for probably around 5, 6 years now. We're part of the 18,000 immigrant women and girls who live in New Brunswick, and we represent 5% of the population as per the 2016 census. So we might be a little bit more now if we have the new census in 2021. We'll see what kind of a growth we experience. But we have different stories. We come with different backgrounds. We experience different circumstances. But there are still some common challenges that we all go through in different ways. We react to them in different ways. What I wanted to capture today with you is these challenges, and these challenges, I call them the C's that shape the journey of immigrant women. What makes embracing challenge for us very important or very significant is the fact that we choose to face those challenges. Because when we immigrate, when we move from one place to another, we know that things are going to be hard, but yet we make the decision. Unlike many other people who think about it or say, well, no, we delay it, we postpone it, we jump into the challenge. So the first challenge, or the first C we're going to talk about, which influences our journey, is change. Because obviously, when we leave home, whether we do it by choice as immigrants or by necessity, like refugees or asylum seekers, it is never free of pain or sorrow. I remember a few years ago, I visited Pier 21 in Halifax. Have you had the chance to visit that
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
There was this exhibit that really caught my attention. It caused a lot of mixed emotions for me, which was the image of this empty suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how hard it is when we move, that there are things that we cannot pack in the suitcase when we move, and usually they are the most precious things, like our memories, our childhood, our parents, the places we love. We do the switch and we know things are going to be different, different environment, different weather, different culture, language, career opportunities. So, having said that, Nisha, how did you experience change when you moved here?
Oh, it's a very big change for me. I tell you, like, before we decide to move to Canada, we have only short time, to prepare. Because when my husband told me, like, okay, we're gonna move to Canada, so I keep thinking, where is Canada? Where is Canada? Because I come from Thailand. Suddenly, like my husband explained a little bit about the New Brunswick, that is small province, because I come from big city. I have to prepare myself, like how the big city woman gonna move to a small place, small city. How will be, how will be survive, in there. But we are decide because of we have a very clear goal that we want to come here with to build our family, to make a future for our kid. That is what our goal when we decide come to New Brunswick. So when we came here, a big change that I have to see, that is, I can call you, is culture shock. Okay, it's a culture shock that I have to see, and language and food and weather. I can tell you, like, big change. Beginning is quite really difficult. You need to adapt yourself. It's not really easy for a few months. You need to really adapt yourself, and after that, I need to change my mind. That we have to live here. You need to change yourself. You need to accept what everything in here. To make yourself is, can live here happy like your homeland. That is what I need to change. Since the first 3 months, we moved to here. And after, like, we have a big change again when my husband is in contract in Edmonton. We have to big decide where we're gonna move again.
Mm-hmm.
Because Edmonton really small, and my husband, he first language is French. So we're looking Quebec, Montreal, and Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I not speak French as well as him. How I gonna live in Quebec? How I gonna live in Montreal? So I say, okay, we meet in middle way. We shoot Mountain.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we move to Mountain, we have to restart again, to find
Yeah.
friends, to find a new community. It takes time for a while. But right now, like, well, everything is come from when you open your mind,
That's right.
and then you change yourself from inside out. So
Exactly.
yes, and
This
then
is very true.
yeah, and then it's settled down now. It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
wonderful. Yes, for last 5 years, I don't want to change anything because I do the thing is the best.
That's great. Yeah, it brings me back, to the experience I personally had as well. Like when I moved here 10 years ago, I moved because I was living in Dubai back then. So again, big city, moving
Yes,
to a small province. And for me, it came with different things, like different changes at the same time that happened in my life. I had a very good job back in Dubai. I was single at the time. I wasn't married. So I met my husband, and who was the reason for me to come here actually,
yes.
because he was coming here from France.
Mm-hmm.
So that year I changed my marital status. I changed my employment status. I was working and then I came to be unemployed. I changed the place of residence, the weather, different things were coming at the same time. So when you have layers of changes or differences that happen in your life, one of them could be enough for someone to feel overwhelmed. How about many? But as you mentioned, um, sometimes it's the support around you that helps you. Sometimes also having an open mind, being patient, to take the time to adjust, because things start hard, but then they're going to get better if you just give them the time to improve. So I fully agree with your perspective here. And one thing I wanted to, I think what you mentioned brings me to something that is very important is when we move, we realize that there's another C that I'm going to bring into the picture now, which is compromise, or uh, realizing that we need to sacrifice something because we want to gain something else. You mentioned how you know that, let's say I'm moving, there are things that we know we lose. For myself, for example, I realized I was gonna lose the possibility of having a continuous career journey, for example, because I had to switch jobs, or like come to a place where I don't know even if I'm gonna have a job that matches my job profile. We start from scratch. You just mentioned it. We start completely from scratch, away from family, away from our network of support. But we do it because we're hoping for a better future, because we're trying to get something in return for our families, for ourselves, trying to find the right place to start, which is very important. So again, did you live that experience? Like, can you give us some more details about what did you feel were the things you had to lose in order to gain something else after you settled here,
Yeah,
and how
same
to
as
put
the you
things into
mentioned.
practice?
Yeah, same as the you mentioned. There's when I live in Thailand, we has the business. You know, we need to sell the business and move to Canada. And then back to 5 years ago, as I live in Edmonton, I go working in kitchen, okay, in restaurant, in the hotel. But it's not because I need to work, but I work all my life. I cannot just stay at home. I
Yes.
said to my husband, I can do anything. Just I can move myself, or I can see people, because we live in big city. We have society. We have, like we have like is not small place. So at least you can go out to meet people to practice your English or your French, or you meet people. At least you can communicate. You not feel alone. So I decide to took my resume and go ask the job. Ever they ask me, you speak French? I say no, but I can do anything you give me to work.
Yeah.
And then when I start to working, it's really hard. It's really hard. I tell myself, oh my God, how do can I like will move on with this work is not my section, okay? But I change my mind again. This is opportunity. Maybe in future you can do some restaurant. It is
Yeah.
because it's a mindset of the entrepreneurs. So I say, okay, I need to learn anything that they give me. I need to tell myself this is opportunity.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I working until I pregnant, until I delivery my daughter. It's fun because you
Yeah. That's
change,
good.
your mindset. Yes, that is, I think, is important when you move to new section or move to something new. I think you have to really, like change your mindset. It's gonna working.
Yeah, yeah, I remember. I remember that when you were saying that you cannot live without working. I remember, like, when I moved here, I had never been unemployed since I graduated from university. So for me
Yeah,
to come and be just sitting there, like having no job, feeling dependent, and like I have nothing to do, was very hard for me. And I tried the first year. It was very hard for me to find the best job that matched my career. At some point in
yeah,
time, I even considered becoming a wedding planner. Like I started to be
yeah,
creative and like, okay, what can I do? Like if I want to do something. So we can get inspired sometimes by the fact that we go through
yeah,
this trade-offs or compromises. We cannot do
yeah,
this, but maybe we can do something else. The opportunity that you
yeah,
mentioned, and I wanted
yeah,
to highlight something that it's the struggle here. Sometimes it's not only about getting inspired to become an entrepreneur. Obviously, you're a very successful entrepreneur. Many immigrant women also proved themselves because they wanted to create something new if they couldn't find something that matches what they were hoping for. But
yeah,
also there are other examples of immigrant women who really had huge contributions and
Yeah.
successes in their jobs. Like some of them found a good match and they grew career-wise to be executives or physicians or researchers or educators. Um, so the immigrant woman experience is really diverse. Like you've got the entrepreneurs who start up a new business and grow and expand,
Mhm.
and you've got also the others who find a job, but they also prove themselves and they grow and flourish and
Yeah, I
thrive.
see. I see many kids that they go back to study again. Okay,
Yes,
to find a job that is market, need.
yes, yes,
I
yes,
really feel amazing. They need to take care of the kid in the same time and study in full time. I really wow.
yeah,
I feel like, and some they have to study in French. That is what I have seen. People
exactly.
around me. They go back to study in nurse or maybe like cooking, but in French, version. I
Yeah.
really wow.
Yeah. That
Yes,
speaks to
I
how
feel like
resilient, how powerful their experience and
yes,
how strong they are from the inside,
yes,
which shows on the outside. So, thanks for sharing that, Anisha. Now, obviously, one of the things that what that happens as well is that as we experience the change and we realize the compromises we had to do, sometimes we feel nostalgic. Like we think about like where we used to be. We go like into this roller coaster of emotions sometimes about what I call the what ifs or the comparisons.
mm,
So although things could we could be feeling settled, but then we start to think, okay, what if I actually stayed where I was? What if we maybe I chose another place like Toronto or Montreal rather than a small province? We start to compare our realities, and
yes,
we do that. I see it a lot. I do it sometimes. I've done it in the past. I know many friends who sometimes do it as well. um, I realized at some point in time to what extent comparisons can rob us from and can take away the chance of enjoying what
mm-hmm,
we're living.
mm-hmm,
And in a way, we kind of live in limbo, like between the past and like another possibility. Like, what if I got a good opportunity in Toronto or Vancouver? Like, maybe I should move. Shall I move? So, um, this kind of comparison after you moved here, did you have those moments whereby you ask, like, what if maybe I chose another place? What if I didn't move or hadn't moved? Did you get that kind of feeling sometime?
no, we because we come from a big city. Okay, like my
Okay,
husband come from Brazil, is
it's
capital
the
of
other way.
Belgium, and I come from Bangkok, is holy like a lot of people,
Yeah.
like 10 million people. So we are exactly one day like we done with big city, like traffic jam, like busy, traffic or something like that. So we really like, I think in when your age is get older, you try to find, the place is quiet, something
Hmm.
that is really similar. That is what our family we are commitment, like we want to have a life like this. We really clear from we move, but at Munster is too small for us. Like, okay, they don't have airport, they don't have shopping center, I think Mountain is like, for me, it's really perfect place for our family because we have a kid. It's
Hmm.
15 minutes from beach. We have airport that we can catch the flight anytime to go back our country. We have
Hmm.
a restaurant and we have shopping center. I mean, like we is they provide many things here. I think I don't need to stay in big city. That is what I feel. Ever
Hmm.
we have visit, we have good friend in Quebec, in Montreal. They always, oh, move here, move here. But I just feel like no, I'm really feel like, oh, I'm have so much time in mountain to can do what I want to do because I don't need to find a place to parking. I not say they are not good, but I mean like for
For
our
you.
family, yes. So I think mountain is the best for us right now.
Yeah.
When the kid growing up, I mean like in university or something, it will be another option for our kid. But for right now, I feel like it's a perfect place.
Hmm.
I mean, for a while that you live and enjoy your life little bit, before your kid growing up, and then you keep thinking what is option for they in okay, university or job for the kid, in future.
Yeah, yeah. You said something that's very important. You said Moncton is good for us right now.
Yes.
Uh, um, this is something that really lines up with some, like at some point in time when I was reflecting on like the comparison question and how we compare different things. And I had lots of discussions with some of my friends at some point in time about, okay, what if you move to Toronto, or maybe it's you're gonna find a better like opportunity and so on. um, the thing for me, I think I came to a point in time whereby I said that I like to live in any place as if I'm living there forever.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody knows what life brings, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
like family, kids grow, things could happen in our life, and we might end up having to move. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But
Yes.
now we have to enjoy what we have.
Yes.
Uh, and there are lots of every place has its positive and like a negative downside, like downsides and advantages. So
Mm-hmm.
why just keep thinking about possibilities
Yes.
and things that are not certain? It's only going to mess up our life if we think that way, I guess. So which is very important. So now I'm going to move to another challenge. It's a more of a physical challenge, and you touched on it a little bit earlier, which I call it the compass, which
Yeah.
is the struggle of the distance and the time zone. When our location on the globe. So basically, we come from. In my case, I came from the Middle East all the way here. You came from Asia, from Thailand, all the way here. Um, this comes with a lot of homesickness, like you feel that you miss your family, your friends, especially in important milestones. Let's say when you're giving birth, when you want parenting advices from your parents and like they're not very close. The fear of losing loved ones sometimes if they're very far away. That's one of, I think, the worst nightmares that most of immigrants and immigrant women experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think if anyone can imagine how that could be painful, especially in periods like the pandemic now that we've been going through over the past year, where even travel is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot even go see them as we want them or when they need us sometimes, which adds to our kind of feeling of homesickness. Thank God we have telecommunication and we have technology
Uh,
that at least we can connect. I don't know how people used to do it back then before like video calls
yes.
and WhatsApps and Facebook Messenger and like all of these great tools. But what adds to the complexity is the time difference here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
although we can reach them by telecommunication, the time difference can sometimes be very complicated. By the time, let's say, if you're working in a job, you come back home, your parents are about to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So the window of communication is a little bit shorter. And how did you find that experience, Nisha?
Before we moved to Canada, I'm always travel. My family, about this. Sometimes they might see me in Europe or they might see me in Singapore or Hong Kong. They know I'm always travel. So for them, it's normal. It's really normal.
Okay.
They just make sure everything good. Like they hear some new from me like every day. Like okay, at least text. Everything good in here or not something like okay a few days you not hear from me and something happened to my daughter or something like that. I will always like tell them how it's going on today, and maybe I gonna have like video call or maybe like a few day one time or something because of the time is different and we have a kid in here and many work. So but every day I text them everything fine today, how it's going on in Canada, especially like COVID. They really are really worried because of the news. In the big city they have like the case a lot. So I tell them like New Brunswick is safe. In the Canada, I think is the
That's right.
less, and people in here they are really really. I mean like try to not, spare or do something like government advice, so we try to not make the thing is a big more. So I just found like for me, we quite okay, we communicate like every day, make them understand what is the situation in here. And I call them and I always tell them like, one thing I so scared because of our parents get old every day. I scared if something happen, I cannot be there in the time. So I prepare this thing to myself. If something happen in future, I need to can accept this feeling because I is the one decide to move far away from them. So that's why like I try my best like every day. If I can tell my brother, bring them to go eat good food or something, we try to make the best that we can, with my brother, with my sister-in-law, that's for them. Because I know I'm far away. If something happen, I cannot be there in right away. At least take time like 2-3 days, I can arrive in Thailand. So this thing is really the point I worry, but it's a future. I don't want to bring that. It's a make us feel bad, because of COVID is hard enough. So we try to communicate more. Yes.
Yeah, one thing I've heard this during the past year was many immigrants were trying to bring their parents or their families here, and I know the struggle had been really hard. Like over the past, personally, I know for myself, and I know for some of my friends, the struggle of sponsoring our parents to come and live with us because we want to bridge this distance thing and try to resolve that kind of a challenge we have. But again, I think the process and this is another topic by itself. I think many people have been facing a lot of struggles when it comes to being able to bring their families to be with them, hoping that this can get maybe resolved in a way to help many of immigrant families who really would like to have their parents or dependents next to them. So that's about the distance and how it can influence sometimes our experience or our journey as well. Now I'm going to move to another C, which has it's more of an internal kind of a conflict. I'm gonna call it the conflict. So it's the something that goes on our inside, and sometimes we don't really talk a lot about it. We experience it internally, but it influences how we look at certain things or how we react to certain things, which is the connection and the sense of belonging and how it can influence our sense of identity. When we move from one place to another, we bring with us this feeling of connection to our home. So our traditions, our culture, our language, food. Um, we try to maintain that connection, and especially if we have kids, we want to pass this on to our children and kids. And at the beginning, the idea of belonging to a new place might feel scary because it's as if you're by default, when you're belonging to a new place, we start to feel that maybe we're losing the connection to our home, like our home countries. Obviously, there's a huge role that the ethnocultural associations in Moncton or in New Brunswick have been playing in nurturing this connection and keeping the heritage alive, like and accessible to our children and our families. But that question internally remains like, are we losing our identity if we get to belong more here? Are we abandoning it? This sense of guilt sometimes that we feel about it. So, how did you feel about your identity and your sense of belonging? Did you have any thoughts about how to juggle both, how to balance these things?
Yeah, it's really good question because for right now we try, because we raise our kid with the two culture, okay, with Asia and like Canadian,
Yes.
because we not live in Belgium, so I don't talk about Belgium. Okay, I talk about the Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because of first the language. I try to teach my kid to speak Thai. Uh, they are half Thai and Canadian. I mean, half Thai and Belgium. They supposed to can speak Thai too. It's really hard because Thai people in New Brunswick still like less more than another nation. I mean, like Vietnam or Filipino, they are
Mm-hmm.
more people than here. Thai is less. I don't see so much, in mountains. So to communicate, to speaking Thai is really hard. So I use the group, like go group, they have like mom who is live in different country.
Mm-hmm.
That is the share the technique how to teach the kid to speak Thai. That
Okay.
is I try to join and I try to find out what is a work for culture, for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
How we can do it the best when we not live in Thailand. So it's get better, like
Mm-hmm.
they share together like many mom, Thai mom they
Okay.
live like in England, they share together. I think it's a work. And second, I found, in here, because when we live in Canada, culture of Canada is really stronger more than us. Of course, they have to
Mm-hmm.
see friends, but uh, my son still speak Thai very good, very clear. Because
Mm-hmm. You
I tell
talk
him
to
like,
him.
when you speak with me, please
Mm-hmm.
speak Thai. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can speak French, speak English with your friend in your school, but with me, with mom, you need
Mm-hmm.
to speak Thai. And he speak Thai very clear, and he still make a traditional, like, how to make hi in Thailand, or speak to my parent.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but still very hard, very hard. I can
It
tell
is
you.
very hard. Yeah, I
Very
know. Like, and again, it's not only just keeping the culture or like the language. I think an element has to do with, like, some people sometimes ask a question. Let's say, do you feel you're more, let's say, more Lebanese or more Canadian? Like, are you? Where's your identity? Where do you
I
belong
just try
more?
to make balance for me, because I don't want my kid to go in any place. I just be in middle, like balance for them. I don't
Yeah.
impress them. If they like to do, we do. If you say, oh, I don't like to do this, we stop. I don't want
Hmm.
to. Here is freedom, Lim. I just feel like
Yes.
we supposed to not control the kid or something like that. We
Yeah.
live in country that's freedom. So we just try our best that the mom can do for the kid, or ever for ourselves too. It's not
Hmm.
easy. Sometimes I forgot Thai because I speak English here every day for 5 years. So
Yeah.
sometimes when I speak Thai, I have to thinking how this
Yeah.
word I translate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. One of the images that came to my mind at some point in time, we were discussing with friends about how sometimes when you live far from your home, as you mentioned, you start to feel like you have to remind yourself about, like, language sometimes. It feels like when you go away from your home countries, it's as if you lose some pieces of
Yes,
you, and you start to add new pieces of the new place.
yes,
So it looks like a mosaic, like we end up like a unique mosaic whereby we're blending the two sides
yes.
of the old place and the new place. But sometimes this comes with a price. Like, and I don't know if you've experienced that, whereby you feel that if you go back home, you don't belong 100% there
Yeah,
because you're a different person now. Even
yes,
for people back home,
yes.
they look at you differently. You're not as similar as they are used to
Totally big
you.
change. It's change because I cannot
Mm.
eat like spicy food anymore, because in here we're
Okay.
not
Oh,
eating, right?
okay.
And we cannot survive too much long weather. That is what I feel when I go back
Yeah.
home in 2018.
Yeah.
I cannot live outside.
Oh, wow.
I have to stay in a conditioner, air conditioner. I say, oh, it's too hot for me. I
Oh,
cannot,
wow.
It's
Okay.
it's really, I don't know. Now I keep thinking, if I need to move again, to go back to stay in Thailand or go back to stay in Belgium. I talk to my husband. I don't know how I gonna restart my life again. That's why I
Yes.
tell him like, I'm happy to live here.
Mhm.
Many things is settled down now for 5 years. That beginning is really hard until now. So to move again, they must to have a big reason enough for I to
Yeah.
move. For
Yeah.
me to move. If you don't have, enough the reason or something, I might stay here because I'm so happy. Same like I tell you, we have 15 minutes from the beach. We have beautiful, like, park for hiking, water flow, we have everything here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, you mentioned the weather and how it
Yes,
impacts you physiologically, because I
same.
read on your website that the weather actually was your trigger for your business.
Yes.
Can you share with us that story?
with my business.
Like how the weather in Canada actually gave you the idea of your business.
Yes, because we live, in here we have like the cold weather that if 8 degree is a wonderful weather for us. Imagine, ever -1, -2, it's wonderful, like it's
Yeah,
have
now, yes.
it's not cold. You can go jogging. I can go jogging,
Yeah.
okay. But when you go back to Thailand, it's 32 degree, okay,
Yes.
35 degree. I cannot, to survive my life. I say it's too hot for me. It's gonna be melt, I too much, I go in 2018, 3 weeks, what I feel, I want to go back Canada. When the airplane is landing to the mountain, home sweet home, I sleep in my bed like, it's relaxed, that is what I feel. And I ask myself, is something wrong to me? But not, because you live in here and, like, you feel it's home here.
Yeah. But if you go back to the first year you came here and you said like you experienced obviously the opposite shift, like you were
Yes.
used to the warm weather and you came to very cold weather, like relatively speaking.
Yes.
So I read somewhere that basically you started to feel that your skin wasn't uh,
Yes.
adjusting to the temperature, so it brought you to have Madame Tai.
Yes, that is what the first year we start, because it switched from the hot weather to cold weather. So I could not find any skincare that is the matching with my skin need. Okay,
Mhm.
but I have a knowledge, about the skincare, and my what I love to use like natural products. So I have this knowledge. So I start, to do it and use it by myself first, and then I finally like, well, in Canada we have much people, they love to use natural products. Same, it's different than Asia, that they love white skin, they love, that is our culture. But here Canada, everybody loves something is safety, like it's not harmful, not dangerous,
Natural.
so I say, why I not, start from something
Hmm.
like this, because I have the knowledge. But since you start, it's not easy, because here is Canada with the standard, with many things, you have to find out information, it's not easy. But well, we live in the right place.
Yeah.
So our province, provides all the program, provides all the opportunity, for immigrant like us. Especially like I miss you in first day we meet each other, you
Yes.
remember? And then we speaking like, oh wow, she's so nice, and then we got connect, I just feel like, well, okay, I need to take this opportunity and seriously and take action.
That's great.
I don't want to, I don't want to lose this opportunity, because I don't know when they're gonna come again.
Hmm.
The time
Yeah.
passed, I don't know when this opportunity will hit me again, because in that time it's really difficult. I study French also. I have 2 kids and I need to take care, and everything have to go together. Like I don't want to leave them in behind, and one day I successful and I lose my family. So I
Okay.
try my best, to bring everything go together. That's why for me it's really hard. I don't want to stop study in that time, because it's halfway already. I study French, but like for 2 years already. Just a year, one more year, I will done, of the French
Hmm.
course.
Hmm.
So we go together. It's really hard. I need to be strong more than another woman, 10 times more. But I tell myself, I will do it, because I don't know when this opportunity gonna hit me again, and or maybe they never come again.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's I'm really happy about like the positive way that you're dealing with you've been dealing with the whole experience, Nisha, which brings me now to the question like towards the end is what do you want to tell other immigrant women in New Brunswick? Like, what is your message to them? What would you like to share with them?
I think it's important, for the new immigrant or like us, is the language. That is what my experience I have seen in Canada. Some they speak good language, but some are not. Okay, that is what I have seen around me, and I would love to say for who is, like they cannot communicate, or English is not so good, or French cannot. Our province is provide, I mean like government provide you study free for French or English, because communicate is really important, to give you like self confidence, like to give you can read, can speak, can listen, because you need to understand about legal here. You need to understand about, how to find job or how to deal, if something happen, like you need to go meet doctor if you sick or something. That is experience I have seen. Or you need to go do the license. That is many time that I have to go translate, to help them, to pass the test of the driving license. Because small thing like this, if you don't have driving license, it's really difficult. So that's the first step you really need to do. Forget about to find a job to make money. No, you need to. This
learn the language.
is more important, because if you can, communicate, is will give you like self-confidence, by automatic, and the self-confidence will bring you to meet a right connection.
That's right.
Right? You will find a job same section that you're looking for, or you will, get start something that you dream of, same like me. We never know, but I just would love to tell you, like, more important is a communicate language, because without speaking, understand people around you, no matter how, your diploma will be like, it's, I tell you, it's really important. What I try to tell, because I see many people when they came here, they just only want to find a job. They want to working, I just want to tell them, like, calm down, calm down. Try to maybe go back to study, try to find out what the section in New Brunswick they need. Maybe 2 years you go back to study. It's not lose the time for 2 years to go study. Okay, maybe nurse, they need the nurse. Okay, 2 years. And you get the job, you get, good, more than you missing, in halfway. You go working, and then the time pass, you say, oh, I supposed to study in that time. I supposed to go, do that.
That's right. Yeah.
Language. Anyway, when you, you have to apply citizenship, you need to can speak English. So this is first, I really want to tell, the immigrant, really important. If you, like, your English is not certified, please, it's really important.
Take the time.
Take the time, find out what exactly you like, what is you would like to do, and join more community, to share the idea. I think it's really important, and you will get the network, because I can tell you, key of success for me is the network and our community.
This is very true, Nisha, because obviously what's interesting here is that when you come here, you need to understand very well, like, the steps you need to follow to get where you want. And as you mentioned, speaking the language, having a driving license, obviously these are one of the key blocks that are very important at the beginning. And in order to get to connections, and connections bring you a network, and network can help you explore opportunities, and then you can actually achieve what you want to do. But trying to jump over the basic requirements doesn't help.
It's a lose the time. I tell you, if you lose your time. So I'm lucky that when I moved to mountain, like you have talent, in Edmonton, because you stay in a small city. That we don't. It's not say like not have opportunity, but you learn something from the small city. When you move to big city, I don't want to lose my time, So I have to plan, in my step what I gonna achieve, like on my goal. So I just go one by one. I take the time for 3 years. It's not easy for me. Not have any step easy for me. I came to Canada, my English is terrible. I tell you, it's terrible. But I tell myself I need to practice, because English is important for me. If you want to do business, how come if you not speak English, right? So I tell myself, I take my time, I try hard enough. So I just would love, to share this to the new immigrant. It's really important. If you speak English, speak French, what we need to do, join community to find out, what they have. Because if you not step out from house, the opportunity never knocks your door.
No, exactly. You have to go find your door.
You have to go find. And I believe, like New Brunswick, they provide everything for you. 3 years now, I join, community. I have connects, with many sections, of work. I see if something I start, I tell them they connect me to another who is working in this section. I need this help. And I never feel one time that community from mountain left me in behind. I never feel in one time. When I ask they help, they give me like direct, like advice what you need to do.
Lots of good nuggets you're saying now, Anisha, and I think like if I want to like to summarize a lot of the things that you were talking about, and addressing also immigrant women, the like newcomers when they come, is it's very important to go out to know the community, as you mentioned. This is one of the important messages, that we shouldn't limit ourselves to just our immediate friends or like our ethnocultural group. We need to go out. We need to
Yes,
meet new people. We need to be involved in the community, like in volunteering, in
yes,
joining groups, taking the initiative,
yes,
and also let the light, like let your light shine. Like if you
yes,
have skills, if you have talents, share them with the community. An example, like for me, was Arabica, like the singing, for example. It's something, let's say, I liked. It's something, one of my passions, and I started to share that kind of talent. I felt how interested people were, and like although they don't understand the language maybe that I'm singing in, but they like the music. So
yeah,
talents, sharing your heritage. People
yes,
like to know about new cultures here. They're open if you
yeah,
want to share,
yes,
and trying new things. Supporting. What's very important is when you also offer support to others, but
yeah,
also when you need not to hesitate to reach out for support. Like
yeah,
if you feel that you need something, uh, the community is very welcoming here, from a perspective of, if you show that you need help, you can get the help.
yeah,
When you're positive about things, when you approach it in a genuine way,
yeah,
you're gonna find opportunities, and you need to love your community so that
yes,
also you feel the
yes.
love back,
You're right. You're right.
which is very important. And the last thing I would like to ask you here, and I think to close with it as well, is
Yeah.
what would you have as a message to non-immigrant women in New Brunswick?
Non-immigrant.
The community, like
They are
the
uh,
community
the
at large.
community. I think is the woman is don't limit, same like you mentioned, don't limit yourself. Like I think every day it's a new opportunity. Okay, like when you wake up, I think it's a new opportunity. Just try new thing. Open your mind. To learn new thing. I think COVID have teach us many things. It's not
Mhm.
only challenge, but you need to have like think in different way, because we never know what is gonna happen tomorrow. But everything is come from yourself,
That's right. That's right.
right? I think it's you cannot wait for only help from
Hmm.
people to help you. You need to like do it by yourself. Learn how to make it by yourself, because I saw a lot of Asian women who is married and moved to like many country in the world. They are, I don't know how to say, like some they live in France or Belgium or Germany, they have to speak third language. They have to try
Hmm.
very hard. Okay. I
Hmm.
just feel like it's amazing. So
Hmm.
just explore yourself. I know that everybody is, like, it can
Yeah.
make it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Just not
Yes.
limit yourself. Yes.
It's this attitude that's very important. So today we talked generally about all the C's, or the challenges that
Yeah.
some of them. I'm not going to admit that, or I assume that I touched everything, but
Yeah.
we talked about some of the challenges that immigrant women face in general, and how it's very important to approach those challenges with an open mind, with a positive attitude, to make them kind of stepping stones into opportunities, rather than to be limited by them and to be scared or afraid of
Yeah.
doing a step forward. So I would like really to thank you, Nisha, for being with me today, speaking about your story and your examples. Your positive vibes were all over the place.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing your experience with us. And I'd like to thank everyone who joined our chat today, or who watched. And obviously, if you had the chance to be with us live, thank you. If you're going to watch the video on a replay, we also appreciate your interest. And if you have any comments or questions, please reach out to us. Happy International Women's Day to all the immigrant women and to all women in New Brunswick and in Canada. And thank you. Thank you, Nisha. Do you have a last word you want to say?
Now, I would love to thank you for who is joy in the live video, and thank you that's give me opportunity to share, my story in the International Women Day, and I'm so appreciate, that get this opportunity, and happy to see you again since we have meet, like
exactly,
like a year ago after I go see you singing. So I hope we can meet it again.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, and. That's the we have the thank you, Anna, for your comment. Thank you also, Huda, for your comments. Some of the people who commented today during the chat. Have a great Sunday, everyone, and happy International Women's Day again. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.